Hello, my friends. There's many things I love about my wife, Rebecca, but one of them is that we get to have really incredible philosophical discussions. And we both challenge each other and support each other at the same time. It's a pretty magical combination that I'm very, very grateful for. Now, this morning, we were thinking about those Buddhist ideas of not being attached to things. And that's not the exact translation. There's really no exact translation from those words or concepts into English. And as we look deeper and deeper into what it means to not be attached, we're probably going to find that it's not about, as we sometimes interpret it, not caring. But even in some of the yogic paths, you'll find people that do interpret it as being separate from the world and just not really connecting with anything. Because if I connect with someone, if I become attached to a person, they will die eventually, or I will die first, one or the other, and then I will suffer loss and I'll have suffering. But it suddenly occurred to us that there could be an element of fear in there, in that interpretation. Because if I am trying to avoid suffering, and that's my reason for not becoming attached to the world, then maybe I'm missing out on something. What if instead I became, instead of being not attached to the person, I became not attached to the idea of avoiding pain? What if I said, it's okay to suffer? This is probably a hard pill to swallow for those of us that live in a culture that celebrates comfort. This is all about comfort. We're supposed to be as comfortable as we can be all the time. I think we all know where that leads. It sounds glorious. It sounds wonderful, like the ideas of heaven that some of us will have where everything is nice all the time. And yet, in that human spirit, we also can have a longing for adventure, for challenge, for exploring our limits. That's part of this human experience. And the comfort that we're being sold all the time robs us of that. So what if we said, I am not going to resist or fear suffering. I'm going to say, I will love somebody so deeply and so attached, and then if I lose them, I will suffer. I will experience that loss. And we trust in our resilience, our ability to rebound. We trust in our ability to go into that suffering, to feel pain, and to grow out of it, to come out the other side. And even more radically, we trust that if we can't come through it, we're going to have a life experience, and that will be what it is. Maybe it means that we can't continue on without drugging ourselves or whatever else we choose to do in order to deal or cope with that. But I think that the real issue at the heart of all this is that we have so much fear of suffering. And it obviously goes back even into ancient cultures. We can fear suffering. We can try to avoid suffering so much that we can miss out on life. To me, the more I explored Zen and yogic paths and various religions and spiritualities, the more it became not about divorcing myself from the world, but about feeling the world. It's not about having a steady state emotion all the time, so much as it's about having a steady foundation from which I can experience sadness, I can experience great joys, but I know I have that foundation that I come back to through emotional resilience. So the thought I'd like to put out today is, what if we just embraced discomfort? What if we said it's okay to suffer? It's okay to experience change. And I can fall in love with the world around me. I can become even attached to the things around me. But I do that with full knowledge and cognizance that I am setting myself up for another experience, the experience of loss. And that experience of loss is not necessarily any better or worse than any other experience that I can have. These are challenging thoughts because they can take us down dark roads and say, oh, okay, it's about experiencing everything. So I'm just going to go and drug myself. I'm going to go and watch television day in and day out and just have that experience and be fully accepting of it. But noticing that there really is a difference, if we can claim any difference anywhere, that there is a difference between these things that numb our experience of life and these things that engage us. So I stand outside in the rain, I feel that sensation of cold. That's alive, that's full, it's vibrant. I sit and I watch a television show for hours and hours. I'm not really alive in that. It feels kind of good in my brain, but probably you've had the experience. You come off watching a bunch of movies and you feel kind of inside. Harkening back to Buddhism, the Buddha talked about this right action, and that we feel when we're in right action. And we know it. And we all have that inner wisdom. To be able to distinguish between the things that kill us slowly, that dull us down, and the things that bring us to life. And here's the thing, I could tease television there, but there might be a person out there for which television is a passion. Everybody has different passions. For me, yes, maybe it's feeling that cold rain. For you, it might not be. But identifying for you what those passions are, being totally brutally honest with yourself about what those passions are and what dulls you down, and then saying, hey, can I really love these things? Can I go into them? Because there's going to be people around you, whether you're watching TV and they're going to say, oh, you're wasting your life, or you're walking out into that rainstorm and they're going to say, you're going to catch a cold, you're just killing yourself, you're stupid. Whatever it is, people will criticize you. But you know. You can make that choice. And then you can love the things that you decide to engage in. Make it conscious. Make this life conscious so that whatever you're doing it consciously. And when the day comes that you die, you're going to be saying, I lived this life. I drank it fully. I really was there. Not, I just let it pass by. That's the thought Rebecca and I were having this morning. Share with me your thoughts about that. Your own experiences with desire for comfort. How you overcome that, or how you go into it and get lost in it. What are the things that really bring you to life and that you want to fall in love with? Have you been afraid of falling in love with those things because you're afraid you'll get attached and then be hurt? And what would happen if you released and you said, I'm okay with being hurt? Love to you all, my friends. Talk with you soon.